Hi everyone, it's Melissa. I'm pre-recording this video since, as some of you may know, I had some difficulty uploading and live streaming, so I'm pre-recording extra early for you guys so that you guys can tune in. Today I'm going to go through some drills. So instead of a full class, I'm going to challenge you strength-wise. The idea here is to build some shoulder stability, some core, and just have some fun with it. If you are near a wall, I would try to find a wall, as it might provide a little mental comfort as you're doing some of these drills. The point of these drills is to build up to a headstand, a forearm balance, or a handstand. If that's not in your goals in your practice, that's totally fine. These are still great drills to do on your own to build that strength and stability. Alright, so first one is one you're probably familiar with, simply a vinyasa. So we can start in a modified vinyasa with those knees hip-width apart, hands shoulder-width apart, but walk the hands up a little bit higher on the mat. On your next inhale, shift the weight forward to a nice flat back, making sure we're not banana backing down. Keep the belly button pulling up to the spine. Then here, as we come down, I want you to imagine the collarbone opening up. So pulling the shoulder blades down, threading the heart through, keep the back flat. Elbows stay tucked to the sides, no chicken wings. Slowly lower down to the mat. Good. Similarly, we want the heart to stay open on the way up. So I like to lift my hands off of the mat. Try to lift through the heart first. Pull those shoulder blades down and back. Then place the hands and push on up to cobra. You can pause with a bend in the elbow. Just make sure you're not folding, rolling forward. Or you can continue on up to nice, long, straight arms. Wherever you are, press into the tops of those thighs. Push on back. Take a child's pose. Really trying to get those hips back towards the heels. Good, right back up. You can either repeat that on your knees, or if you'd like to make it a little bit more difficult for yourself, we're gonna come up into a plank. So tuck those toes, wrists stacked under those shoulders, nice long flat back, belly button pulling up to the spine. On your next inhale, we're gonna shift the weight forward up over those wrists, come to the tip toes. Still keep that back flat, arms strong. Try to pull those shoulder blades down and back, thread the heart through, and then slowly we're gonna come and pause at halfway, then push, press, flip to the tops of those feet, upward facing dog. Try not to roll around forward, open up that chest, elbows stay to the sides. Good. Then press into the tops of the feet, push, flip those feet, downward facing dog. And everyone's going to meet in their child's pose. Excellent. So that's one drill that you're probably very familiar with. Next one, you need something in your house. It could even be a cell phone cord, it can be a strap if you have it at home, or even a broomstick. So find something in your house and keep it in front of you. I'm going to turn my back to the camera so you can see my shoulder blades. I'm going to demonstrate first with just no strap, no nothing, just my muscles. So I really want you guys to imagine making a W with those arms. Scooping the shoulder blades down, in, and under. Squeeze. Again, relaxing. Down, in, under. Squeeze. Now we can repeat that with a strap. Grab onto that strap about shoulder width apart. Give some tension. Bring that up overhead. The less stable your shoulders or chest is, you might choose to bring the strap in front of you. So you can do the same thing, pull, squeeze, down, in, under, strap in front of you. For those of you who feel that their chest is open enough, you can also pull, down, in, under, behind the head. for those of you who have a broom, same thing. A little bit wider of a stance here, and come on down, down, in, under. Focus on this point, squeezing, relaxing at the top, down, in, under, squeeze. All right, drill number 2. Now, moving on, we're going to go into some scapular push-ups. Now, this one is going to look like you're doing nothing, but I promise you it is going to be very difficult. You will feel a little soreness between those shoulder blades. So for these, I like to start in dolphin pose. So elbows underneath those shoulders, palms face down, forearms are about parallel to each other. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Bringing the feet as close or as far as is necessary. You can even bend into those knees. Just try to keep the back nice and flat like a downward facing dog. Trying not to bring the weight over the wrist. Push it back. Good. Now from here, very subtle movement. We're just going to sink the head towards the ground. Push, lengthen. Sink, lengthen. Sink, lengthen. Now what I don't want to see is sink, lengthen. It's not moving the head. The head is just coming directly down, relaxing into those shoulders, then push, energize. You can also choose to do this in downward facing dog as well. Sinking, pushing. Trying not to bend too much into those elbows. Let the shoulders relax and lengthen. Good. Excellent. Those are scapular push-ups. Now on to the next one, coming into a forearm plank. So forearm plank, same setup as dolphin pose, but this time toes coming back, tucking under, and the back is going to stay nice and flat. Good. From here, we're going to walk those toes in towards dolphin pose. So tuck the toes under, lift the hips, press the chest to the feet, come into dolphin. Making sure you're lifting that head away like those scapular push-ups. Then walk back down. Making sure you breathe fluidly through this drill. Tucking, lifting. Good. Always remembering to take a child's pose if you're feeling a little tired, if those arms are fatigued. Take a couple breaths. Next drill, we're going to be floating between downward facing dog and dolphin. So we can either go one arm at a time or both. We want to think about here that W we were making with the pull, trying to really feel that tension in the lat muscle, which is right underneath that armpit. All right, so start in your dolphin pose. From here, one at a time at first. Press up, chest always pushing towards those feet. And back down. The key here is your hands are going where your elbows were, and your elbows are going where your hands are going. Good. To do both at the same time, you need to grip into the mat. Picture those shoulder blades scooping down, in, and under, and press. Dropping back down, nice and slow. Press. Slow, press. Good. Taking a child's pose. Rest those arms. Take a couple breaths. Good. Now you can do these drills as many times as you want to. Fatigue those shoulders. Really try to build some strength here. All right, next one is a funky little balance. Have some fun with it. I was very frustrated with this balance when I first started, but now I think it's one of the more fun drills that I do. All right, so we're going to start in dolphin pose again. Again, you can bend the knees as much as you need to, as long as that back is flat. From here, we're going to tip the weight into the right arm, come up onto the left fingertips. Most of the weight should be in that right arm, making sure we're not sinking forward to a plank. Push the hips high and far back. Lot of pressure on that arm. Maybe stay here. If you'd like to come into a balance, bring that hand, grab anywhere on the leg that you can. From here, tip the weight into the left leg. See if you can lift that right leg up. Nice little core balance here. Good. Other side, same thing. Left arm stays down. Tip the weight, come to the fingers. See how that feels at first. Making sure we're not sinking forward, chest to those feet. Reach on back. Then tip the weight into the right foot. See if you can bring that left leg up. Good. Have some fun with that one. Try a few times. Always resting when you need to. Excellent. Give a little jiggle to those arms. All right, so now we're gonna practice the more active, trying to lift into a handstand. So for this one, you've probably done this in class when instructors ask you to jump to the top of the mat. So we're gonna practice those, but the idea here is to try to do it as slow and controlled as possible. So oftentimes what I see is people starting downward facing dog, they bend those knees and they go, yeah, and they slam the feet down. What we want to do is try to get the hips as far up over the head and the shoulders so that they stack, and then lightly returning the feet down. So the idea here is bend, lift, get some air, softly down. Again, bend, lift, float down. Trying to get as much control as you can. If you're not quite getting it at first, that's fine. It comes with time and practice. You can also, to give a little mindfulness to where your feet are planting, you can grab a block, a stack of textbooks, anything that gives a little bit of height. Place it just above where your feet are in downward facing dog. Now, same idea here, but we're trying not to go out and around the block. We're trying to go right over the block. So, bend into those knees. Hips up, knees tuck, softly down. Oops. Trying to really focus on getting those knees in towards the belly and the chest. So tuck. One more time. Downward facing dog, bend, float, tuck. Good. All right. Next one. If you have 2 blocks, bring those out. You could also use water bottles, books, anything that you have in your house. And I'm gonna tilt myself so I don't put my foot into the candle. We're gonna place 1 block right next to your foot, and then keep enough space between the next block so that your foot can land in between. You can also continue this and have multiple stages all the way through, make it even harder for yourself. Now, from here, you can point through the toes or push through the heels. Doesn't matter to me as long as those feet are active. You can bring those hands behind you as a little bit of support, stability, but really try to tighten that core. If you can, try to not use those hands at all. So we're going to slowly tip the weight slightly back, lift the leg up and over between the blocks. Up and over, up and over, up and over. Good. This is working on your hip flexors. You might feel some cramping sensations. That is actually completely normal. Our hip flexor, unless you are a runner, tends to be very, very weak. If you are a runner, it tends to be very tight. So, practicing these drills, same thing on the other side. And to challenge yourself, you can go even wider. Widen it out nice and big with those legs. And then try again. Good. All right. Blocks can come to the side. Then, for this next one, you might want to be near a couch. Even my dresser has some handles here that I can grab onto. It's just a little bit of support. You can even press and hold onto a wall. Anything that you can really put your fingertips up against. All right, so for this next one, you want to be a whole arm's length away from that wall or dresser or couch. Pressing your fingers against it as if you're pushing it away. And then we're going to come into plow pose here. So I like to tuck my knees, bend, roll, and place my feet onto the wall or the dresser. So we're not going into full plow where the hips are stacked over the head. What we're going to practice here is puppy pressing into a handstand. So imagine you are actually pressing your hands onto the ground rather than into a dresser. And now you can see the handstand going on. So we're going to bring the toes to the wrist and nice and slow slide them down. And then slowly release those hips back down to the mat, pressing through the heels the whole time. Good. Bend those knees, relax. Same thing. Tuck. Once you get to that dresser or wall or couch, again, push through those heels, let the toes tuck onto the wrist, nice and slow. Move your way down. Stretch the backs of those legs. Slowly lower the hips on down. Good. Excellent. All right. Last one. What really helps get over that fear of headstands, of falling over, is going up next to a wall. So for this next one, if you want to have a wall behind you, do so. If you don't, it's really not so bad. Sometimes it takes a couple falls out of a headstand for you to feel like, okay, that's not super bad. All right. So I like to go more of a bound headstand, so my elbows are stacked under my shoulders. I make a little diamond with my fingertips so that my hands are coming towards each other, and it's almost a triangle of my forearms. Good. Then I lift almost to my dolphin, tuck, bring my head. Now, remember those scapular push-ups, how we lifted away from the mat? I want you to imagine that as we're doing those drills. You should technically be able to lift in a headstand so that there's no pressure on the head or the neck. So we're going to start to tiptoe those feet as high in as you can. You can even bring blocks over to get a little bit of height here. Try to get those hips, press, and then come back down. Good. Tuck, lengthen, and back. Good. Now we can begin to lift those legs as well. Once you get here, leg lift, back down, leg lift, back down. Good. Those are some drills for you guys. So get to it, have some fun with it. Just understand that shoulder stability, core strength, it takes a lot of time and practice. So have some patience. Don't go into this expecting to fly into a headstand. If you do, that's awesome. We're really just working for that mind-to-body connection, understanding how our body needs to be in space to allow these postures to be possible. Stay healthy, stay positive, everyone. I miss all of you. Love you.